there. My name is, hi there, welcome to the Student Life Breakout Room. My name is Cassie Lau, I'm the Director of Student Life here at STMC, and I'm also an English and Social Studies teacher. I'd like to welcome you to our Student Life panel, and as Mr. Garland said, I don't think anybody can sell our school better than our students, so we've got 5 of them here for you, and I'd like for them to introduce themselves before we get started here and start fielding your questions. So we'll start with Sophie.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm in grade 12 and I'm a player on the senior varsity volleyball team.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Yang. I'm a grade 11 student here at STM and I'm part of the senior girls soccer team.
Hi, I'm Chase. I'm a grade 12 student here and I play on the senior boys basketball team.
Hello, I'm Cameron. I'm in grade 11 here and I'm on the track team.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn. I'm in grade 12 and I was on the Peru service trip.
So all 5 of these students are 5 of our Student Council executive members, and they're here to answer any of the questions that you may have about student life, academics, programming, athletics, faith, anything you like. I think it's great to have a student perspective on a prospective school for you and your families. So feel free to field any of the questions. There is a chat box, so you are watching this on YouTube right now, and if you'd like to field any questions, you'll need to click on the YouTube word on the far right, on the bottom right, and then it'll open up a chat tab for you. So it'll open up the video with the chat on the side, and you can just type in whatever chat and whatever question that you'd like to have us answer. I think what we'll start with is the most common question families ask, and we've got one on the chat right away. This is a great question from Jessica Weiser. And she says, hello, what is one piece of advice you'd give to a new grade 8 student? This is awesome. So whoever wants to start, go ahead.
I guess my piece of advice is to just try to join as much as you can. Like, we're a very, I guess, diverse group of people. We're in, a multitude of different clubs, and that can be said for a lot of the students here. Most people are in choir, and then they also play on the football team, and then they also are part of green team. And that's the case for, I think, a lot of people at our school. So I would say just don't shut yourself off to any opportunity and just try everything.
And also that's a great way to meet new people. So if you come into school and you're a bit nervous about maybe not having as many friends or not knowing who you're going to fall, what group you're going to fall in, join whatever you think maybe interests you and then you'll find your group.
A piece of advice that I would have is just if you need help ever, ask for it, because everyone here is very, very willing to help. So whenever you need, really, just ask us for anything and then someone will help you.
I think what's awesome that I see as a teacher, when students get into grade 12, they kind of remember what it was like to be a little grade 8 and kind of wandering these halls with everybody taller than you. So you tend to want to return that favor, as what Cameron was saying, is the grade 11, grade 12 transition does have an inherent sense of mentorship and leadership at this school for sure. And so the 12s just tend to pay that forward with the grade 8s. And in a normal year, that first September point for a grade 8 is really cool. I think it would be awesome to hear your perspectives on that first September month for a grade 8 student. So what is involved in perhaps transitioning from the grade 7 year to the grade 8 year?
Okay, I'll start. So even before you come in at September, they have the jumpstart type thing, and you come in and you take starter courses to I think it was English and math, and you also do so many fun activities, and it's also a great way to start meeting new people, especially opening up your friend group. And then coming into school, we started off with orientation, which we got a tour around the school led by a lot of the older students, which was good to see, and plus you're put into groups with new people as well. There's just a bunch of fun icebreaker type activities, and then there's also the knighting ceremony, which I think Mr. Garland touched on in the main live stream thing, so that was also really good for us to experience the community aspect.
Nice. Again, if you have any questions, if you've just joined us, I'm Ms. Cassie Lau. I'm the Director of Student Life here. I've got 5 Student Council students that are willing to field any questions. So just type them freely on the chat and we'll address them. No worries, thank you. One question I think we get often during the open house Ooh, Mr. Nathan Bolognese. What are all the sports in the school? We've got a couple of athletes actually, so this is a great question. I don't know, Chase, if you want to kick us off
Yeah.
here.
So starting off in September in the fall season, we have football. We also have volleyball, and then heading towards the winter, we get basketball, curling, and then later on in the spring, you get track and field, soccer. I think there's a lacrosse program here as well, and I don't know if they count esports as a sport anymore, but there's that as well too. It comes all year round, and yeah, that's all I got for this one.
Some of the other sports are cross country, golf. I don't know if you mentioned ultimate, but
Wrestling as well.
Wrestling, yeah.
And they've, what is it, swimming? They have swimming.
and curling.
I do want to give wrestling a shout out here. They won the most provincial championships in our school. And we've got a whole bevy of competitive provincial championship teams here, so it doesn't really matter what you're interested in. We've got a coaching staff and we've got a team and a group of individuals that's ready to compete at a very high level. Lauren, hi. What are the clubs like? I don't know how many clubs are represented in these five. So I would say within these 5 students, to be honest, and not to toot their horns here, but I think like 30 clubs probably represented here, if not more. So anybody wants to take this one? What are the clubs like outside of sports?
For me, the cool things about the clubs here is that a lot of them are like student-led. Like there's not really a teacher looking over it. Sure there are, but then most of the work is coming from the students, and I think that's a really cool way to connect with other people throughout the school.
Yeah, and there's like we were saying, the song said there's like about 30 just here. There are so many clubs. Like you think of one thing and there's probably a club for it. And I think that's really cool because you get to get involved with something that maybe is not big enough to have like a program in the school, but then you get to meet with people who also are so passionate about that one thing and talk about it, get involved, and maybe meet some people who are very similar to you.
The club process here is really interesting because students put in a proposal to start a club. So it doesn't matter what you're interested in. If it doesn't exist at the school, we're going to try and support you and find a teacher that will help you facilitate and develop that club. So even starting this year, in spite of COVID and the restrictions and safety protocols, we've actually gotten probably 8 new clubs this year that are operating virtually. So we've got Girls Can Code that is happening all online. We've got an American Sign Language club. We've got a Model UN club that is entering tournaments and conferences in March. It's amazing to me what students feel like they're interested in and they're feeling empowered to create and develop for our student body. What is the most popular club in the whole school?
That's a great question.
I would say bird.
Yeah, I would say.
Oh,
bird.
cool.
Yeah, I think Blessed Edmund Rice team would probably be the most popular club, and I think Mr. Mariazzo touched on that a little bit. And basically, just servant leadership, and it kind of spans from grade 8 to grade 12, so really anybody can join. And yeah, it just covers like a lot of different topics. Like there's the breakfast program that we have. We recently had a toy drive during Christmas. There's just a lot of outreach programs in our community and also globally. And I think most students at the school are involved in that program in some type of way.
Another one of the most popular clubs at the school is definitely the Green Team. I think right now even they're running a bottle drive and a tree chipping. So just to raise money for different climate events and different activism projects.
A couple of the clubs that a lot of students tend to get involved too with athletics are the Knights Fit programs. So they're student-led workout teams, and they meet after school or before school. And it's once or twice a week, sometimes outside, sometimes in the weight room. And it's just quick, but to get together and kind of be active.
Can you tell us more about the opportunity to travel overseas for the international outreach program? So I think this one is probably best directed to Brooklyn here.
So I'll take this one. I went to Peru last summer, 2 summers ago, and I actually went with Miss Lowell and another teacher who spoke, Mr. Mitchell, and it was just a really amazing opportunity. We got to meet so many people and really understand like the impact that we have actually as a school, because we're really involved in missions and supporting our Christian brother communities all overseas. And of course, you know, when we raise money and do sorts of things at our school, it feels really good, and obviously we feel a part of it. but to actually go and see the impact and the meals and the clothing and the shelters and the actual impact it have on people's lives, it was really, really life-changing. And we have a lot of programs like that. We also have a Brownfield, Texas program, but we also have programs that are also just like locally that a lot of people can take part in. And I think both of the different types of outreach programs are just as important.
I think the other thing to think about too is, I don't know if anybody's been to the Action Conference here, but the Action Conference is a conference that is for students of Christian Brothers schools that meet. I believe it's in Florida. It might have moved to New Jersey this year, but we sent 5 representatives, I believe, and they meet a whole bunch of students. So that's another sort of advocacy and outreach thing for Christian Brothers as well. Just as a piggyback, is it only for grade 10 students or above? So for the outreach programs?
The cruise.
Yeah.
I was going into grade 11 when I did that, and I was the youngest kid there. So yeah, a lot of those types of programs are more for grade 11 and 12.
Yeah, and it is an application process too. So we take 12 mainly because of the housing and the lodging opportunities and availability there in Peru. So it is a pretty rigorous application process, and we do take and look at applications and essays from different students who have perhaps served the school and what they're going to take from that experience back to our community. Because I think that's the important lesson with international outreach is, what does that community have to give to us, right? And how do we take those lessons to serve our local communities here? Nathan wants to know, do you try out for the sports? This is kind of a depends on the sport type of question. So, I mean, a bunch of you.
I'll start with this one. So for volleyball program, we start training in around mid-August. We get in the gym, and then that's open to anyone. Come in, play, get to know the people that maybe are going to be on your team, get to know the coaches, and that gives the coaches an opportunity to get to know you as well. So it's super beneficial, and then by the time that September rolls around, everyone knows each other, so that when we build a team, it's going to be strong, we're going to build good connections. And then there is a tryout process, but I definitely think that if you bring confidence and you bring something that's significant to the team and your character is awesome and you get to know the coaches too, that'll be something that shouldn't be a problem.
To add on to that, majority of the sports here is welcome to anyone, like football, swimming, curling, etc. But I would say an advice for tryouts is, yeah, sure, coaches look for a lot of skill and talent in players, but if you bring, leadership, qualities like doing little things, working hard, coaches look at that too, right? And that plays a big part in the tryout process. So, keep that in mind.
I want to add to that, like whenever you're trying out, as long as you just are loud on the court and or if you're if you stand out, wear a bright colored shirt so people remember who you are. That's what every single coach would tell me when you're trying out for a team. And also I want to touch on the soccer teams for the girls because that's what I'm part of. For the grade 8s and 9s, they go.
By the way, before she keeps on going, Chelsea's a provincial champion in soccer. So what do we won? One?
We won so many.
Oh, relax. Okay. So Chelsea is a provincial champion and was in grade 9 as a part of that team, correct? So she's plugging her own club, but with good measure. She's a trusted source here.
But I mean, the coaches are really good, and even if you're not experienced, they'll still take you on the junior team because they're open to anyone. It's just about having fun. But then if you really want to be competitive, you're able to try out for the senior team, and it is kind of competitive in that sense that the coach wants to win, but you can always try, and it doesn't hurt to try. So
I can speak to that. I've coached Sophie and Chelsea. I coached the senior volleyball team, and I've coached the junior basketball team as well, so they know that process quite well. And I'd like to echo what Chase said as well. We're a high character type of athletic program here. Yeah, of course we want to win and be competitive, but if you're a good person and if you bring something to the table that is unique and that is good, inherently good, there's a spot for any kid like that on a team here. They've got 2 questions. Are there limited spaces per club?
No.
I would say for clubs that have more of an application process, like the Action Club that was touched on, or something like Student Council, but most clubs are open to anyone at any grade level.
Yeah, only a couple clubs I think are not open to everybody. Like Textiles Club, I think there's a limit just because of how few machines there are, but most clubs are open to everyone.
Yeah. Isaac Pham wants to know, why should I choose STM? That's the big question.
Ooh.
Yeah. How much time do you have, Isaac? Go ahead. Whoever wants to take this.
I can start. So I actually came to STM in grade 9, so I haven't been here for my full high school experience. And I have to tell you that it is the best decision that I've made for myself. And that's because when I came here, and I was super shy. I was not the person I am today. And it's helped me grow into the person I am. The teachers here, they treat you like no other teachers. They're going to nurture you and make sure that what you're getting is specific to you, and they're going to help you as an individual. And your peers will push you like siblings sometimes a little bit too much, but push you to be the best person you can be for sure.
I kind of had more of like a story that kind of was like the reason like I knew STM was like the right choice for me. And it was more of like an embarrassing grade 8 moment. I had walked into a grade 12 classroom on my first day, and it was very embarrassing. It was really awful, but all the grade 12s were like, hey, like what class are you supposed to be in? And one of them actually like walked me to my room and like was like, hey, by the way, like this is my name, come find me. And I was like, oh, that's so like weird. But every single person at STM is gonna do that for you. So I think it's that like sense of community and sense of just knowing like anybody at the school has like got my back, and just like being able to like count on the people in your community.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of incredible programs for sure, like from sports to clubs to anything extracurricular really, and within the school. We have a great academic program, but at the end of the day, it's the community that makes STM what it is. It's the people that like actually care about each other and that are willing to help each other no matter what. Teachers who are willing to help students, spend a lot of time tutoring students after school, tutoring groups. There's a lot of opportunities here if you need any help or anything really, because everyone just really cares about each other.
If you're just joining us, my name is Cassie Long. I'm the Director of Student Life here. I teach English and Social Studies, and I'm a coach in the volleyball and basketball program. We've got student council members here. We'll just quickly introduce ourselves again if you've just tuned in.
I'm Sophie. I'm a grade 12 student at STM, and I play on the varsity volleyball team.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Yang. I'm a grade 11 student here at STM.
Hi, I'm Chase. I'm a grade 12 student and I play on the varsity boys basketball team.
Hello, I'm Cameron and I'm on the track and field team.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn. I'm in grade 12, and I went on the Proof Service track.
So a couple of questions. Are there any volunteering groups? So what does volunteering look like at this school? And I only chuckle because everything is available here in terms of service. So maybe let's go with what's the most fun or what's the most impactful volunteering project or group that you've been a part of so far?
I can start on this one. So, at the school, I'm pretty sure Mr. Mariazzo touched on it because he is in charge of a lot of the type of service activities here at the school. But I went on the breakfast program a few times, and it's always just impactful to see that like you're helping others because you're like serving the less fortunate people food, and it just makes you feel good to be there and to be helping them. And they're like actually friendly, so like you can like talk to them as well, and it's just really impactful, and it makes your day a lot better.
Yeah, I think a couple of us are actually part of it, but just recently Bert had a toy drive, and we do that every year. And in STMC spirit, it's like music and songs and like dancing, and it's like a really fun morning. And people just bring in their toys, and they go to like local families in our community. And I think just seeing that like direct impact we have on others, and also just making it like fun for each of us, I think that's like a super impactful part of volunteering. But really, any idea that you have, just bring it to any teacher, any student, and it will be brought to life, really.
Yeah, for me, my favorite thing that we do is probably the Peru service trip. I know it happens only every couple of years, but it really informed why this is the place for me as a teacher, and the impact it had on our students as well. So that was cool for me. What are your go-to uniform pieces? So I mean, you see students in red sweaters
Yeah.
here, so maybe we'll have that be explained, and then you can explain your choices here.
I don't know.
Chase, go.
Okay, so these red sweaters are actually for our grade 12 members on the student council. The way I think of these cardigans is sort of like a super suit. It's kind of like an emblem, like wherever you walk around, kids are just eyeing at you like, what is that? Or why are you wearing that? And you get into a little conversation and tell them what it's all about, and yeah, that's all it really is.
I think for me, my go-to uniform piece is I like the black shirt. I think that's definitely a staple to have in your closet, just because it's a little bit less easy to get dirty. I definitely recommend having at least one color of each shirt, just so you can feel like you can mix it up. For girls, I wear the kilt as much as I can.
I want to touch my favorite uniform piece is like hoodies or crew necks, but I don't think they sell those at the uniform sale. But when you're like part of like the athletics, like any athletic team, you have access to buying anything from the athletic store that they sent out like every season, like sports season. So yeah, I like wearing the red hoodie that you probably have seen if you walked outside.
I feel like it's also important to know that sometimes the halls and the classrooms get very cold. So wearing a long sleeve underneath of your polo is very nice and very helpful.
Yeah, a lot of the time the hallways get cold. I wear a lot of big sweaters. I have a big gray fleece for our school. Great.
Just before we get to the other questions, Mr. Isaac Pham wants to know, can you wear any shoes because the guy in the middle has some nice... Can you explain your Jordan choice
Isaac
here?
Pham.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
gonna
basketball
he's
guy. I
for
know
sure,
this
right?
guy,
You're
yeah.
gonna drop a nice word.
So yeah, you can wear any shoe, Jordans, Air Forces, you name them. But just don't pull up in any sandals or any slippers, because that's a no-no.
Yes, we allow a diverse shoe choice, let's say. It tends to be where students express themselves the most, and yes, it's sometimes a competition as to who has the nicest kicks in the school. Yes. Can you use a Chromebook that you have at home? Yeah, that's actually an interesting piece. Maybe talk about the technology a little bit here.
Well, we were given one-to-one Chromebooks a couple of years ago, and I know a lot of people use those, and for me personally, it's just been like so much easier. A lot of our stuff is now digital, and I feel like that definitely helped, especially during COVID when we were at home, or even like the asynchronous learning that we're doing now. It's just been like super helpful, but you are allowed to bring your like Chromebook or laptop from home.
I do think one of the nicer things about using the Chromebook that the school will give you is the Wi-Fi is much better connected to the school Chromebooks because there's a set Wi-Fi just for those Chromebooks.
Okay, social events at the school. What's the most fun social event at the school? This is an interesting question.
You want to like go like
Around.
yeah.
I really love the dances. You get to see people in a different element than you usually do, and it's obviously not something COVID friendly, but super exciting, and you get to bond with everyone in your grade and a few grades around you.
Yeah, I was gonna say the dances too. Yeah, I don't really know what else to add. So.
Yeah, how much go with dances?
Personally, I love the pep rallies the best, just because you can definitely tell how much school spirit there is.
I love Spirit Week, and like most, like especially like Greek Olympics, our school really goes full out for that. Usually it's divided by grade, but now we moved to a house system, so that's gonna be interesting this year. I think it's gonna be good. But we have like all those crazy rides and like those like things that spin, and you have to like jump over them. Like we go
Like
full
that.
out for that, and it's really fun. Yeah.
My favorite, well, one of my favorites is our Chancellor basketball tournament. Mainly because I'm a basketball coach and I love being a part of the rich history of the Chancellor basketball tournament, but it's so wonderful to see what it does for the local community here as well, and having, 8 teams and 16 teams from different parts of the Lower Mainland kind of coming in the spirit of basketball. And you can see the rich spirit and camaraderie between the coaches and the parents. It's really fun. And so coming out to the tournaments and watching here, even if you're just a fan, you don't need to be an athlete. It's so much fun, and the energy that sports bring to the school is amazing. What does the school do to help integrate the new grade 8s, especially when they don't have any friends or coming from schools that are not feeders?
I think Chelsea mentioned the Jumpstart program just earlier. So it's around a 2 to 3 week program where you come in just before school started in the summer. And I think how many kids are there usually in that program?
Cool. I want to say we get like 100 kids.
Yes.
Usually, yeah.
So usually 100 or just a bit more than that, and you get to just meet new people before you coming into classes, and it's a great way to get to know the teachers, maybe make a couple friends before you come into the hallways.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was only one person who came from my school, so I was definitely in that position where I didn't have many friends coming into the school, and I went to the summer program too, the 2 to 3 week program in the summer, and I felt really well integrated, like from day one already, so it really isn't a problem once you get here.
One of my favorite social events this ties into is the knighting ceremony as well. So I don't want to spoil it too much, but it usually happens on the first Friday of the school year, and we officially welcome our grade 8s into our community through a little bit of a ceremony. And so, I mean, I just don't want to spoil it. It's something really, really cool, and I love seeing just the shock and awe that the grade 8s feel, and just how welcoming our older students are. We also have a grade 8 and 12 mixer, but that's, yeah. Grade 8 and 12 dance is fun too. Are you allowed to bring a skateboard?
I think that was actually banned from the school. I know you can bring bicycles, and then there's a I think there's like a bike parking thing out in the courtyard, and you just put them there. But no, not skateboards anymore.
How are the houses sorted? Are students assigned? Yes, students are assigned. So if you are a sibling of somebody already in the school that is sorted, you're immediately into that house. And in the same vein, if you are the alumni, once we get there, an alumni center daughter, then you'll be into that house, hopefully in the long term. Randomly assigned. And what we're trying to do is give you another smaller community within the bigger school community, so that you do get to know people from grade 8, but also give you people you have a shared identity with in grade 9, 10, 11, 12. And what's been fun this year is seeing our grade 12s kind of compete in a very healthy manner under the banner of a house, and it does kind of get contagious as younger students. So it is fun to see our grade 12s kind of pull our grade 11s and 10s along and compete that way. So yes, assigned when they get here for sure.
And I think with that too, with the grade 8s, you'll be given an advisory leader. So you'll be given a grade 12 that you kind of have, if you need to talk to them about anything, you have any question, no stupid question, you could ask them and they'll give you an answer for that.
Yeah. Can you tell me more about your music and drama programs? So I believe Cameron and Chelsea are in band, is that correct?
Yes.
Sweet, so these
And
two are
Chase.
probably. Oh, and Chase,
Oh,
sorry.
no.
Sorry, Chase.
Yeah, I can speak to the band program because I'm in band and jazz band, and then also music council. So there's a lot of opportunity for sure to get involved if you want to in the music program. There's definitely great opportunities. Jazz band is a lot of fun for sure. It's in the morning at 7:15, which is unfortunate, but it's a lot of fun for sure. And then music council helps to organize some music events, for instance, like the Christmas concert. And that's a good opportunity as well if you want to help serve in the music program.
Just to touch on that, the band program is actually very inclusive of like any instrument. Like when I was looking at other schools as well, they weren't really inclusive for all instruments because I played the violin and it's not really, I guess, like a typical band instrument. So at STM, like Mr. Shoemaker, the band director, was like really inclusive and like didn't say I couldn't play the instrument that I knew how to play. So that was really exciting for me. And then also one thing that we do is we go to festivals at the end of every year, and we're able to like win like different like medals or whatever. And it's like really good in the sense that you get like the accomplishment that you've been working towards the whole year.
And farther on that, in grade 11, 12, you have the opportunity in senior band, and I believe senior choir, I'm not 100% sure, but to go on a trip. So some of those trips every like 4 years, it's to Disneyland.
Oh yeah.
So there's a trip every second year. Some of them have gone to Toronto, and
Yeah, so sad. So sad.
I kind of wanted to piggyback off Cameron's point, and it was less like music related, but like when he said people come in at 7:15, I know it sounds crazy that like we're all in on a school on a Thursday night at 7 o'clock and no complaints, and there's probably would be students here if it wasn't COVID. People stay at the school for so long, whether it's for tutorials, whether it's for sports, really just to like hang out in the library. People are at the school and people don't really want to leave, so it might sound like a little weird to be hearing like 7 o'clock in the morning to like 6 o'clock at night, but it really is the reality for most people.
Our drama program, I can speak to that a little bit. I taught drama for a couple of years. We offer it as an elective in grade 8 and 9, and then in grade 10, 11, and 12, I believe it's theater studies. And we do have a play, and I think it rotates from a play, a drama, to a musical every other year. And there's an audition process. We take, I think, 10 to 12 students, and Ms. Stepkowski is wonderful as a drama teacher. Mr. Shu and Mr. Loy I can't speak more highly of them and how competitive their programs are. I think this is a building where I think the teachers are probably more competitive than the students. And as a coach, you're like, yeah, it's you want to win, and you see that echoed in Mr. Shu and Mr. Loy as well. So our band is amazing, and our choir is amazing. And I'm not a part of that community, but I see that community very visibly in our school. Do you need to be good at playing an instrument to be in any band?
no, not at all. You don't need to be good at all to start in the program. In grade 8, really anybody is welcome. You don't have to have any experience whatsoever.
Yeah, to touch on that, there's actually the first day of classes. Mr. Shu gets you to pick an instrument if you've never played anything, and then, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, you could have no musical background whatsoever, come in the next day with a brand new instrument, and, sooner or later you actually grow quicker than you thought you did, and, you like band, you fall in love with it, and it's just a thing that's been a big part of your life at the school.
I think Mr. Shu's got a triangle or stuff like that for you. Are there French classes? Yes, there are French classes. We do offer French here. That is actually the only language we do offer here. And our French program is fun, and I think French 12, is that correct? Or some of you in French 12? Yeah.
No, there is a French 12
There is
program.
French
yeah,
12,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so French classes for sure, and if you are a student that was in a French immersion school, I believe you can
You can take
You
it
take
a
an
year
exam?
and
That's
challenge
right.
it.
Okay.
Challenge it, yeah.
you can challenge it, and then you enter grade 11.
Grade
Grade
11
11.
English, yeah.
Okay, grade 11 English, thank you. Are there Spanish classes? Not yet. I wish, that would be really fun. It would have been helpful in Peru.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other languages that we can take? Not yet. However, plug for Sydney Christensen, starting a club for American Sign Language that is running virtually. So, yes-ish. But right now it's only French. Any other questions in chat? Okay, I'll go with an open house question. I asked that, how many kids there? When will ASL be released? So with ASL, it's a club that's running online. We use a school platform called Google Classroom. And what Sydney's doing is she's basically taking all the lessons and putting them online on Google Classroom. How many kids are there at STM? Do you guys know?
About 650.
I feel like it's more than
More than
700.
Closer to 700. So currently we have approximately 690, I want to say 5 students enrolled at the school, and approximately 120 per grade. So that's the number. It's small school, but big for its size. Like, we have 33 clubs for 690 students, which is a lot. We've got, I don't even know how many competitive teams for 680 students. We're very small when you see the numbers, but we have a big reputation.
The nicest part about that too is like you walk down the halls and you see all these different faces, but you know every single person. And it's not like you're walking through to see people and you're like, oh, I've never seen that person before. Like, no, you have seen every single person walking through these hallways, and you probably know their name.
You're welcome, thank you. What does the astronomy club look like?
All I could say about that, I guess, is it's run by Mr. Muse, and Mr. Muse has got to be one of the most, you know, like, he's so passionate about it. It's crazy. I think he actually got an award in the physics, something like that. But no, if you have the chance to take astronomy club, take it. Like, it's something you don't want to miss out on, especially with him as a teacher.
If you were here in this open house right now, our science program would be blowing stuff up in Mr. Toek's room, and you would be outside looking at the stars with Mr. Muse. So,
And bacteria.
and bacteria. I'm looking at through microscope right here. So yeah, the astronomy club is pretty cool, and like Chase said, Mr. Muse is very passionate about astronomy and space. So. Do you have video game clubs? He just popped his head in. He's also very passionate about Star Wars. Do you have any video game clubs?
I think there's an esports.
Yeah, esports team. Yeah.
Esports club. We've also got coding, and we've got programming clubs. So one of our programming clubs, what they do is they meet and they try to code and build a video game together, and then they launch the video game at the end of the year. So we've got a ton of opportunities to pursue sort of computer science outside of the classroom. It's wonderful. Hi, Mr. Zimmerman. Do you guys do the March for Life in Victoria? We have done before. I believe Mr. Colombe and Mr. Delorier have both been a part. He was our former principal before Mr. Garland, and we have done the March for Life in Victoria before. I don't know when the last year was. I don't know if you know that offhand.
Yeah,
Sorry, Mr. Zimmerman is
Yeah,
offhand.
always give the opportunity to the students.
Yeah. Do you need 2 languages to graduate?
No, just one.
No.
Just
one.
one, just the English.
Real answer is you don't need any language
Yeah.
to graduate, but you need it to get into post-secondary.
Yeah.
You need it to get into post-secondary. So grade 8s, potential grade 8s. What are your art programs? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
What are your art programs? We've got, this is a tricky one for the director of student life. We've got the Visual Arts Club.
Textiles?
We've got textiles, thank you. Mr. Kinnell used to do, he's got guitar building, all of that's a course. We've got book club, which is kind of an art in itself.
Digital media course.
Digital media course. There has got to be so much more. And the thing is that
Arts and
if we
everything.
don't have it and you want to start it, it'll happen. And a teacher will support you, and students will support you, and there will be interest in it. So, yeah. What games are in the esports club? Do you guys know this one? Our esports club, this is going to be funny that I know this, have, I believe, I'm so sorry, Justin, if I get this wrong. I believe they play in Valorant. And I believe they have a League of Legends representation. I don't know if that's the right word. And we have, as student council, also hosted a Super Smash Brothers tournament here in the last couple of years. So, yeah. We are close to wrapping up here, unfortunately. That went really, really quickly. So if there are any last minute questions for our students, is there Rocket League? I don't know what that is.
Oh,
that's
yeah. No, we don't have that.
Your brother knows
My
about it.
brother's brother.
Okay, Colby. Is there Rocket League? So we're gonna safely assume that's a no.
So far.
So far,
But
unless
there
you
could
want.
be if you wanted it.
If you wanted it,
You
you
can
come
have
with that idea. Yeah.
Do you get your own laptop?
Yes.
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 1-to-1 Chromebooks.
One-to-one Chromebooks. Has anyone ever gotten a basketball scholarship?
Oh yeah, for sure. People have, but you gotta be like 6'6", man. I'm sorry. If you're Filipino,
We don't offer sports scholarships as entry, but once you graduate, there are certain nonprofit organizations that have a basketball sort of feel that do reward and provide financial scholarships for our basketball programs, but not entry into the school. I guess we'll finish with just a last question is what is your favorite thing about STM? And don't say community or second home or family.
For me, I think it's the support system. That's kind of within the students, and it's also within the teachers. Like when the teachers are so passionate about what they teach and like staying till like 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night just to like teach you and make sure you understand and like are passionate about it too. I just think that's like really cool, and I haven't really seen it or heard about it anywhere else. But it's like such a dominant thing here, so.
I think for me it would be the spirit. So being a member of one of the senior sports teams, I have been able to compete in provincial championships in our home gym. And it was amazing to be on this. I was in the school and it was like a weekend, and there were so many of our STM students in the crowd still just cheering and supporting you. And just, you always know that there's so many people cheering for you in whatever you're doing in the school.
I think that one of my favorite parts about STM is just the number of opportunities that are available. Like you can get involved in absolutely anything at our school, and there will definitely be an opportunity for you there.
I guess my favorite part is STM is just like a second home for me. I believe Brooklyn said it earlier. People here are here till like 8:30. Like for me, just today, I was here at 7 in the morning, practicing. Okay, after school I practiced some more, and now I'm here until what 8 at night. So yeah, it's just a second home for me.
To finish off, my favorite part about STM is like all the lifelong friendships I made like through joining all these different sports and clubs that STMC offers. Like you build lifelong friendships, not with just people in your grade, but like our panel is like a mix of grades, and like it just shows that our school is like very inclusive in any grade level, and you can like talk to anyone.
I think to end off, if you look in front of you and look at these 5, this could be you. So visualize yourself in these positions in approximately 5 years, right? And see yourself in these 5 students, because I believe they've sold our school much better than I ever could and much better than Mr. Garland ever could. If you have any other questions, please visit our website. Please email Mr. Hall and Mrs. Cirillo. And we are so lucky and fortunate to have our students. I want to thank all of them here today. And I want to thank you for tuning in, for all your questions. This has been lovely. Thank you so much for your interest in our school. Good luck, and we hope to see you in September.